Out there in that huge, silent darkness of space, we're always looking, always scanning the skies for anything different. And yeah, most of the time, we just see the usual stuff, our cosmic neighbors. But once in a while, the universe throws us a curveball. It sends us something else. Today, we're talking about a visitor that showed up and just, well, it broke all the rules. I mean, really think about that. What if that visitor wasn't just some random piece of rock, but was more like a messenger, carrying secrets from a time and a place that we can't even begin to wrap our heads around? Well, in 2025, that's pretty much exactly what happened. So the whole story kicks off on a pretty normal night in July of 2025. There's this network of telescopes called ATLAS, and its job is to scan for asteroids that might be a danger to us. It was just doing its thing, a routine sweep of the sky. And then it spotted it. A tiny, faint dot, moving. At first, no big deal. Seemed like just another day at the office, another asteroid to add to the list. Except it wasn't. Pretty soon, the numbers started coming in from the computers, and astronomers just stared. They were stunned. This thing was moving at an absolutely blistering 58 kilometers a second. That's over 130,000 miles per hour. That speed, that was the very first clue that this was something else entirely. Okay, so to really get a grip on that speed, think about this. Mercury is the fastest planet in our solar system, and it's booking it at around 48 kilometers per second. But it's right next to the sun, getting a huge gravitational boost. This visitor, 3I Atlas, was clocked going faster than that way out by Jupiter. For anything born in our solar system, that speed at that distance, it's just physically impossible. It was moving way too fast to be caught in our sun's gravity. So that incredible speed, that was the smoking gun. It was definitive proof this thing was not from around here. It was a true traveler, a visitor from interstellar space, that vast, dark emptiness between the stars. And so it got its official name, 3I/Atlas. The 3I meaning it was only the third interstellar object humanity had ever seen. And let me tell you, this visitor was in a league of its own. It wasn't just a little bit different from the first two, Oumuamua and Borisov. First off, its size. It was a monster, almost 6 kilometers wide, and it was traveling at nearly double their speed. But then there's the angle it came in at. See, our solar system is basically a flat disk, like a record. The first two visitors kind of dropped in from the top, but 3I Atlas, it came in perfectly flat from the side. The odds of that are so insane, it's like hitting a bullseye on a dartboard from light years away. So the big question was, where did it come from? Well, by tracing its path backward through space, scientists figured out it came from a very old, very sparse part of our galaxy called the thick disk. And its age? Get this, an estimated 7.6 billion years old. That makes this visitor almost twice as old as the Earth itself. But as this ancient traveler got closer and closer to our sun, that initial excitement, that thrill of discovery, it started to change into something else. Just profound confusion. Because the closer we looked, the weirder this thing's behavior became. Okay, quick sidebar because it'll help make sense of this. When we talk about distances in space, we often use something called an astronomical unit, or AU. 1 AU is just the distance from the Earth to the sun. Super simple, but it really helps you picture the scale we're dealing with. All right, so the first real head-scratcher came when this thing was still 5 AUs from the sun. That's 5 times farther from the sun than we are, way out by Jupiter. And it started to form a coma, that gas cloud that makes comets look fuzzy. Now, normally, a comet has to get way closer for the sun's heat to start melting its ice. For this to happen so far out meant it wasn't made of normal water ice. It had to be made of something way more fragile, like frozen carbon dioxide, basically dry ice. And that early gas cloud? Oh, that was just the appetizer. As 3I/Atlas continued its dive toward the sun, it just started breaking one cosmic rule after another, leaving scientists with this cascade of behavior they just could not explain. Now, this is where it goes from just strange to what is even happening? One of the deepest mysteries was how it played with sunlight. When light from the sun hit the gas and dust around this thing, it did something that has never, ever been seen before. Something that seems to defy physics. Okay, so check this out. Normally when sunlight hits the dust around a comet, the light scatters away from the sun, kind of spreading out. Simple enough. But with 3I Atlas, the light was scattering backwards, towards the sun. Not only is that the complete opposite of what's supposed to happen, it was the most extreme case of this backward scattering ever recorded from anything in our entire solar system, and we still have no idea why. And if you think that's wild, the puzzles just kept on coming. When scientists started looking at the chemical fingerprint of its gas cloud, another baffling question popped up. Something really important was missing. So here's a basic rule of the cosmos. Where you find nickel, you find iron. They're forged together in the hearts of dying stars. They're like cosmic best friends. They're always, always found together. So when the gas cloud of 3I/Atlas showed it had nickel, everyone expected to see iron. But there was nothing, not a trace. Then, just to mess with us even more, as it got closer and hotter, the iron suddenly appeared out of nowhere. This bizarre disappearing act suggests its structure is something totally alien to us. But maybe the most visually stunning, the most mind-bending anomaly of all, was its tail. The solar wind, this constant stream of particles blowing out from the sun, always pushes a comet's tail straight away from it. Always. But not this time. I mean, can you even picture that? It's like standing in a hurricane and having your hair blow forward into the wind. For a while, this comet's tail was pointed towards the sun. Then, as it got closer, it just corrected itself, as if nothing had happened. That initial moment of defiance, though, it remains completely unexplained. After it whipped around the sun, 3I/Atlas began its long, lonely journey back out into the void. Its visit was so brief, so fleeting. It was our last, very small window to get a look at this cosmic ghost. Its closest approach to the sun was on October 29th, 2025, but we couldn't even see it then. It was lost in the sun's glare. It popped back into view in December, and its final goodbye wave is on March 16th, 2026, when it passes Jupiter on its way out for good. NASA's Juno spacecraft, which is orbiting Jupiter, might just get one last final snapshot. And after that, it's gone. It'll just keep going, leaving our solar system behind and fading back into the darkness between the stars, never ever to return. And our chance to understand what it was will be gone right along with it. So what are we left with? Just this long list of unanswered questions. A visitor moving at an impossible speed with a 1 in a million entry angle. A thing that lit up too early, bent light the wrong way, played a magic trick with its iron, and had a tail that pointed toward the sun. Every single thing we learned about it just made it more of a mystery. Which leaves us with one final haunting thought. Was 3I/Atlas just a fantastically weird ancient comet? A natural relic from the dawn of our galaxy? Or, with all of its impossible rule-breaking behavior, was it something more? A message in a bottle from the void, leaving a trail of questions it knew we could never answer.